Go
Welcome to
ahead.
today's Google Hangout with AJ Jacobs. My name is Amanda and I am the social media coordinator for Geni. Joining us today are members of the Global Family Reunion team, Eowyn Langholf, the Global Family Reunion's Chief Cousin Coordinator, and Abby Glenn, Global Family Reunion's Director of Research. Also with us is Geni Curator Kevin and Erica, who will be joining us in a bit. It is my great pleasure to introduce AJ Jacobs. AJ is a journalist and editor-at-large at Esquire magazine and author of 4 New York Times bestsellers. For his latest project, AJ is throwing the world's largest family reunion ever. The Global Family Reunion will be held June 6, 2015 in New York City. Geni is very excited to be working with AJ and helping to show how the world is related. The goal of Geni has always been to build the definitive family tree of the world, and through the collaborative efforts of millions of genealogists, Geni's World Family Tree currently has over 80 million people connected. And the collaborators of the Global Family Reunion project on Geni have been very active and working hard to help make even more connections to AJ and the World Family Tree. Now, without further ado, I give you AJ Jacobs.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, everybody. That is the first order of business. I want to thank everyone for their amazing research, because none of this could happen without that. And I am so excited about this reunion because it's really getting traction. There are thousands of people who are getting into genealogy and who want to be a part of it. And it all starts with you guys and your amazing research. So thank you. That's the first order of business. I thought today I would just talk, give you a quick update on the Global Family Reunion, tell you a little more about what's going to happen there, and then I could answer any questions, and also Kevin, Eowyn, Linda, and Abby can answer any questions, and then we can all discuss best practices for building the family tree, the big tree on Geni. So as for the actual event, as many of you know, it started because I got an email out of the blue from this guy who, about a year ago, who said that he was my 12th cousin, and I was at once baffled but thrilled, and it made me dive into genealogy, and I immediately found Geni, thanks in part to Randy Schoenberg, who weirdly shares the same last name as my wife. And that's actually how we connected. But he was one of my gurus in introducing me to Geni, as was Adam Brown and many others. And I got so into it, and I thought, well, this is such a fascinating topic. I have these millions of cousins or relations. Many of them are distant, but it's still fun. Why not throw a family reunion? The biggest, most inclusive, most entertaining and educational family reunion ever. So that's what we're doing. It's June 6th, as many of you know, and it's going to be a family reunion meets an expo, like a World's Fair, meets a TED conference and Lollapalooza. So it's going to have all of these fun elements. It's in New York on the grounds of the World's Fair at the New York Hall of Science. But one exciting development is that it's also truly global. There are going to be satellite events happening simultaneously around the world, and we're going to live stream to them. And as for some of we're going to have a day full of speakers, and some of them are going to be genealogists, many that you've probably heard of, like Spencer Wells, who heads up the National Genographic Project, Josh Taylor, and Gilad Jafet, who is the CEO of MyHeritage, which owns Geni. And also Henry Louis Gates is a strong maybe. He really wants to come. He's working on his schedule, so that would be great. I'm a huge fan. There are going to be some non-genealogists talking about different areas of family. So Scott Simon from NPR is talking about adoption, and we've got Daniel Radcliffe, who is the played Harry Potter. He's a fan, so he's going to either be there live or via video, but he's going to say a few words. Morgan Spurlock, who made Super Size Me, you know, the McDonald's movie, he is making a documentary of the Global Family Reunion. So he'll be there to give a talk. There's going to be music. So we've got Lisa Loeb is an old college friend of mine. She'll be there singing. And we are 90% done with getting Sister Sledge to come to sing We Are Family Live, because I thought that is the most appropriate. There will also be tons of activities in addition, so it'll be spread out over this huge space of 18 acres, and there's going to be all sorts of fun stuff, much of it related to genealogy. We have Ken Jennings, who's the Jeopardy champ. I don't know if you know him, but
the first super champ,
ultimate F Jeopardy champ, and he's writing the ultimate family quiz for the family reunion. And we've got a scavenger hunt. Believe it or not, my wife, that's her job. She puts on scavenger hunt. So there's going to be a family-themed scavenger hunt. There are going to be booths like at Roots Tech of all of the major genealogy players. There's going to be an ancestry-themed. There's going to be a living history tent, because you know on the Geni World Tree, there's Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Frederick Douglass. So we've got these players, these interpreters coming, and they're gonna. So the kids will be able to meet their famous ancestors. And there will be a talent contest. We're gonna have a cousin talent contest of singing and magic and all that. And the other element of this is that I thought if we're going to get all these people together, then it'd be fun to do it for a good cause. And the cause I went with was Alzheimer's, partly because I have that in the family, but partly because it seems very relevant to genealogy, because these are the people with our family stories, and if they lose their memory, we're not going to have any family history. So that seemed like a good cause. So I teamed up with great Alzheimer's organizations. So any money that is over and above the cost of the event goes straight to them. And we are going to charge a little money for entry. I want to keep it as low as possible because it's supposed to be as democratic as possible. So maybe $10, $15 we should know in the next couple of weeks. And everyone is invited, whether or not they're on the big tree. If you're on the big tree, then you get a bracelet and can be part of this biggest family photo ever. And we're hoping that'll be like tweeted millions of times. So that is an update on the event itself. The lead up to the event has been very exciting because we've definitely gotten some traction. A lot of people are interested in this. Once they find out about places like Geni, where you can figure out how you're related to almost anyone else, people love that. So we've gotten, as you know, I've got this monthly column in People where you guys have helped me figure out how I'm related to the Duggars and to the Valerie Bertinelli, and next month is Dr. Oz, and we've got a nice bunch of TV spots coming up. We already did Good Morning America, but Dr. Oz will air in mid-November. I'm supposed to be taping The View in the next week or two. And thank you guys for hooking me up to Barbara Walters, not Barbara Walters, Whoopi Goldberg and Rosie O'Donnell. And then we've got Conan O'Brien is coming up on December 1st or 2nd. And thank you guys. I know that Eowyn posted that one of the other guests is supposed to be Mindy Kaling, who I love, a hilarious actress. And so thank you. I think you guys cracked it, right? Didn't you crack? You cracked it.
I think they did.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but was it Linda or
No, one
was
Linda or
Elise
Jeff. One
or
of them
Malka? I
cracked
can't
it.
remember, but one of
Linda
you.
for sure was one of them.
It was, well, thank you. You guys are amazing. And or Hattie. Hattie also has done amazing work. And Kevin, of course.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is the update on the actual event. And then I thought we could talk a bit about, if you want, we can talk about a bit about the process of how this is happening. Because in addition to the celebrities, which are very useful in getting us publicity, we also have on the website, the Global Family Reunion website, we have thousands of people who have signed up, and they send us, we ask for their grandparents' names, their grandparents' birth dates, their any famous gateway ancestors they might have. And so we've got thousands and thousands of this data, and the trick is to try to go through it and connect these people to the tree. So maybe Eowyn or Abby or Amanda or Kevin or all four can talk about the process of how this happens and what we do with that.
Can I interrupt for a second, AJ? Have you gotten the mayor of New York involved?
Eowyn, you want to take it?
I'll start, and then I'm going to pass it off to Abby. But basically, like AJ was saying, we get lots of emails every day from people who want to find out how they're connected to AJ and to the global family, and just even to find out about their families. And so what we do is we check, the first thing we do is we just check the sites that we're working with, like Geni, to see if perhaps they are already on there, which when they do, that's great, because that's an easier connection to make. But if they're not, then we start the process of trying to get them connected and do the research to figure out how they fit into our global family. And that is usually where Abby steps in to the process.
Like Eowyn said, we start with checking the names against all the collaborative sites we're working with, and then I sort everything out so that we're doing it as efficiently as possible. We have thousands of requests, and a lot of them are just sitting there waiting for someone to get to them. So one of the things we have right now is our Connect for the Cure incentive, which is really awesome for our volunteer researchers because it's an opportunity for them to actually earn prizes for helping us do this research. So they get in touch with us, and I hook them up with research requests. You know, if I search and maybe someone started their tree on Geni, but they're not hooked up yet, then I might make a point to make sure that our Connect for the Cure people from Geni are the ones who get those requests. That way they can build that tree out there. And then they just get back with me, and we keep track of it all. And I get a hold of Eowyn, and Eowyn lets the people who have asked for that connection know that we've connected them. And one of our ultimate goals would be that those people would decide that they want to pursue their family history more in depth and go ahead and join these sites, which is what we always encourage. Some people don't have the time, some people don't feel like they have the ability, so our volunteer researchers are so integral to this because without them, there was no way that we could find all of these connections. So sites like Geni are fantastic to be able to work with, to connect all these trees, find the connections to AJ. We're always looking for more people to work with individually as well. You know, like if you're on Geni and you're willing to research, but kind of want more direction, if you get in touch with Eowyn or I, we can help you with specific people who we know they said they want to come to the reunion, and we can give you their information so you can work on them. As far as the process, a lot of these people start with their closer generations. So we always encourage checking them against collaborative sites, run their name through Google. I think as genealogists, sometimes we forget that because we're so buried in researching people who have been dead for 150 years. We forget that when these people are sending their grandparents and great-grandparents, a lot of them since passed away recently, and so we might be able to find an obituary to help us find those connections. And so that's one of the main steps, obituaries, and then start looking for census records. it's really not hard. I think a lot of people think that it sounds difficult, and it's not time consuming. It just takes time, and there's a lot of sideways connections, as we call them. You know, as much as we'd all love to be AJ's, you know, direct cousins, a lot of times that connection happens through several marriages off to the side that you never, as a genealogist, would have considered a connection until now. Like, right.
I consider it part of the family.
I like too.
And Connect for the Cure, by the way, the idea was for every person that we connect to the big tree, I will donate $1 to Alzheimer's research. So hopefully we can get thousands of people connected, and I'll be out a lot of money, but I don't mind, for a good cause. And so yeah, people, we definitely need help with that. If anyone is motivated, we've got some amazing, awesome people working on it now, so thank you for that, but we could use all the help we can get. So if you're at all interested in solving these puzzles for a good cause and for prizes, then what's the best way, Abby? Just to email you and
email
Eowyn?
Email
and what is
family email?
So yeah, which email address should they send it to?
So it would be great for interested people to email globalfamily2015@gmail.com.
globalfamily2015@gmail.com if you want to join in this contest.
Can I add one thing?
Please.
So if you're interested in helping, but you don't feel like you're a professional genealogist or an advanced genealogist, that is okay, because we have a lot of different ways for people to help. Part of it is doing the actual research. Part of it's just getting the data that people send us entered into these sites. Part of it can just be checking names against Geni.com just to see if they already have a tree there. So even if you don't feel like you're experienced as a researcher, there's still a ton of ways to be involved with Connect for the Cure.
Totally. And another way to get involved, we feel very fortunate that the genealogy community has embraced this, and they think that it's a fun, a good thing, and the message that we're all related and we should all treat each other with a little more kindness, that has resonated. So among the many partners we've teamed up with is the Federation of Genealogical Societies, which is your local, like, you know, the Tennessee Genealogy Society. So that's another way. I know that they would be very psyched if people joined their local society and worked with them on the Global Family Reunion.
I just wanted to add that if you do have a Geni account, the best thing to do is to put as much information as possible that you know onto your Geni tree. And if you need any help, you can always join the Global Family Reunion Project on Geni and post in the discussions. And there are a lot of collaborators and a lot of curators who will help make connections for you.
Totally. Yeah, they're an amazing group of people. Well, one thing I thought we could also talk about is if you guys have questions for me or for us or suggestions on what we could do better, we are all ears, because we just want to make this the best event possible, and we want as many people. I mean, we want thousands of people involved all around the world. And it seems that we're going to get it because we've gotten so many emails from people who are interested. But
AJ?
Anything we can do to keep that momentum going. So
I have
please,
a question, AJ. I have a question
text,
for you.
You know, write us in the chat, or if Kevin, if you have any thoughts.
I have a question for you. Have you gotten
what we could be doing
AJ?
more of? Please let us know.
Hey, I have a question for you, AJ.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the New York's mayor involved?
Great question. Yes, I am. That is underway. We've teamed up with what's called New York and Company, which is the tourism bureau of New York, and they're very excited, and they're helping us with three things. One is hotels. They're getting us a lot of good deals on hotels. Two is marketing, so we're going to be on their website, so people who are coming to New York that weekend, they're going to know all about it. And three is getting us hooked up with the city government. And I actually have a meeting with them tomorrow. But so yes, I want that. I definitely want that. I mean, it'll be interesting. I want some political figures there. I'd love to get, you know, President Obama. That would be awesome.
Forget that one, but that's one thing I know is Bill de Blasio, he does have a connection to you.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I saw that.
One day I was sitting there and I thought, where's the connection to Bill de Blasio? So they found it.
Thank you for that. That is great.
No problem.
Here's another weird one that, you know, the George H.W. Bush. You guys found my connection to him, so he's probably not going to show up at the reunion in New York because he doesn't travel much, but he'll participate via video. But his son, Jeb Bush, has it on his schedule tentatively. That's what he said. He said he can't predict what his life is going to be like in June because I guess he's running for president.
He wants to run for president.
And the funny thing is, I'm a Democrat. I live in New York. You know, I'm a center-left Democrat. So I'm looking for a big Democrat to balance Jeb Bush because we don't want to be on one side. We want to be everyone in there.
What about the governor?
Yeah, no. Well, he's on my list. He's on my list. I haven't reached out to him yet. Some people are not so fond of him. Yes.
Sorry. What do you recommend for DNA tests? That's a question we got.
Okay. Can I answer that?
Yeah. Please.
If they're Jewish, I'd recommend. They know they're Jewish. Recommend use Family Tree DNA because they have the largest Jewish database out there. Otherwise, it's up to you. If you go to 23andMe, Ancestral DNA, or Family Tree, it's totally up to you, to them.
And by the way, both 23andMe and Family Tree DNA are way into the Global Family Reunion and are fully helping us out to make connections and are going to be there. So we're very excited about that. Eowyn has also been really involved with the DNA. So maybe, Eowyn, can you talk a little more about what people can do?
Yeah, it's been a really great way for us to just kind of establish that there is some kind of connection there. And, you know, on 23andMe, they have the option to share genomes, and we've been able to make contact with a lot of people through there. And just see, it's actually been really cool just to see the way a lot of AJ's family members have taken tests, his wife and his mother-in-law. So we've been able to compare on those sites too. So if you're on one of those DNA sites and you've taken a test, find us, find AJ, so we can connect through there too.
And how do you do that? Just search my name on the 23andMe search bar, and then connect. And the other thing is, if you're connected to me on 23andMe, if we qualify as cousins, that means that all of your cousins are my cousins. They are all invited to the Global Family Reunion. And that's another thing that's on our priority list, is to get the word out, to have you guys send an invitation to all of your cousins so that they know that they're invited, and their cousins can invite their cousins. As long as we can figure out a way that it tracks back to the big family tree, they are a family. They are considered family. So that's another initiative, spreading the word.
And that's one thing too, is people who are attending the reunion who we know about their connection to AJ, they get a special bracelet to wear and participate in the family photo. But even if we don't find a connection to an AJ, everyone still in the whole world is invited.
Totally. And one thought I had was people who come can give their names at the door and any other information that they know, their grandparents, for instance, and we can keep the research up after the family reunion. So say we get 20,000 people there, but only 4,000 are connected. If we can connect 2,000 afterwards, then we can still say, well, we got 6,000 members of the family there. You know, then we can keep moving the number of family members up for as long as we have their information.
I have a question from Sarah, although I think we may have already answered this. I don't have a lot of free time to research. How else can I help?
That is a great question. And Eowyn actually is helping us organize all sorts of other ways people can help. So, because we need help not just in the research, but
we just need help.
We definitely. Well, it is a grassroots project, that's for sure. What else can people do? Eowyn, do you have a list of the other projects?
There's a lot of ways to participate outside of the research. One of the other programs we have going is our Global Family Reunion Ambassadors, and those are people who have volunteered to help us spread the word via social media and blogging. So if you're up for just spending a little time each week sharing the word about the family reunion, that would be great. If you're a blogger and you want to guest blog for us, we're open to that too. We also could use help with outreach. We have a lot of different areas where we're trying to reach out to different people. So if you feel like you're a go-getter in that way, that's another way you can help. One thing that's probably on the list to talk about later, but we're also going to have branch parties where local organizations and individuals are hosting their own version of the Global Family Reunion that will coincide with our event in New York. So if you or anyone you know or like your local society or school or library are interested in hosting something like that, that's another way to get involved.
Yeah, and also something as simple that takes no time, but if you are able to connect to the Big Family Tree and to me, then if you could just email 10 of your relatives and tell them about it, just send an email, and we have a template that we can forward to you. If you just email that same globalfamily2015 at gmail.com, right?
Correct.
Eowyn? Yep. Just email that, and then we can send you a template, an invitation you can forward to 10 of your relatives and ask them to forward it to 10 of their relatives. And that takes 5 minutes, but it could pay off in a big way if we can get some traction that way.
Do you think you could elaborate more on the branch parties?
Sure. First we have a great woman helping us with that named Angel Hundley. But the idea is we wanted to, not everyone will be able to make it to New York, but we want to have it all over the world. And that way we can also break the record for the biggest online virtual family reunion, which I think we're probably the first, so it won't be hard to break the record. But then we've got a lot of libraries, genealogy libraries are throwing their own simultaneous events, including the really big ones. There's one in Houston called the Clayton Library, the one in Salt Lake City, the LDS one called the Family History Library. They will be live streaming it and also doing their own activities, whatever they want. They could, have a hot dog roast. They could have classes, but the idea is just to get people involved. And I think we have about 20 that have said yes all around the country and a couple around the world, and they're independently organized, so if they want to charge admission, that's fine. If they want it to be free, that's fine. We just want to have everyone involved as much as possible, And one of the ideas is they can do an activity at the same time as us. So maybe when we sing "We Are Family," all the branch parties sing it at the same time. So there's some sort of activity that's happening all around the world at the same time. Abby and Eowyn, am I missing anything on that?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay, good.
But we just would love to have them. I mean, it's exciting for the global family reunion to really actually be global. So, you know, the more the merrier.
Totally.
And we don't want it to feel like it's exclusive either. We know a lot of people can't afford to fly out to New York for the event. So this is a really fun opportunity to get together with a lot of local people and, you know, spread the word locally, your local newspaper, whatever it is, Facebook, and get people together and just have fun. And I think Angel's actually helping, I mean, give ideas for things you can do, the live streaming part of it, all of it.
Totally.
So,
even if you don't have a local organization that wants to host one, just get family members together and have your own little mini family reunion.
Totally, just at your house. And we can count that, you know, if you do it. If you just get 10 people together in San Diego, then we can say, oh, we had a branch in San Diego, and it sounds so impressive. But we can, if you're interested in doing one, and please just email that same email address and let us know, and we can help you. We'll hook you up with a live stream of these awesome speakers that you can play if you want. You don't have to, but if you want, we think it would be a cool extra bonus for people. And then you can just, you know, be part of it.
How would one find a party near them?
Well, our website in the next couple of weeks should have a list coming up. Yep. But, you know, since there are not a huge number of people on this call, just email us if you're interested in finding a local one or starting a local one. Just do that. Email us at globalfamily2015 and we'll hook you up.
On our website, too, which is globalfamilyreunion.com, we have a volunteer section, and there's a volunteer form that you can fill out if you're interested in volunteering. And there's also a form to fill out if you are interested in hosting a branch party.
Totally. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I was going to post this in the Global Family Reunion request, but since I'm going on Conan O'Brien, you guys already got Conan, you got Mindy Kaling, but if you guys can figure out Andy Richter of that, so that would be fun if I can figure out tell them how Andy and Conan are related.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
And the other thing in terms of upcoming projects, so The View, I am scheduled to go on The View. It's interesting because The View and Dr. Oz are apparently some sort of competitors. So I'm just trying to make sure they're both happy. It looks like they are. You never know. I already taped Dr. Oz, but it won't air until mid-November. So it looks like The View is okay with that. But we have so far connected Rosie O'Donnell for sure. That's a good one. You guys helped us with Nicole Wallace, who's one of the co-hosts. The two, I am connected on Geni to Whoopi Goldberg. But it's through Ted Danson, who was her ex-partner. They never got married. And so I'm worried, you know, Whoopi has a sharp tongue. She's very funny, but she might lash into me and say, that doesn't count. So I know that Abby is doing a great job working to try to find a connection to Whoopi that is not through So if you want to help with that, please contact Abby. And then there's one other topic. I wanted to mention.
Oh, I think someone.
I am getting a little echo there.
Someone's getting an echo.
Oh, I think it's gone. Beautiful. This was actually a suggestion by Randy Schoenberg, and I think it'll be great, is that that we can try to get people involved through being descendants of famous people on Geni. And so you can actually run a script. Eowyn, you might have a clearer idea of how this works. Do you? Or should I just keep going?
Well, no, I know that I know we can go on Geni and go to you know, like Thomas Jefferson, and be able to see who his descendants are, at least linked to him on Geni. And so we know that you're connected to Thomas Jefferson, so we know those people would be connected to you. So it would be great to be able to get people involved that way too.
So what's the best thing is, if you are a descendant of anyone famous, then we can sort of let us know so you can be the ambassador, like the Thomas Jefferson ambassador, and email, you know, and put on, connect with your other Thomas Jefferson descendants and say, there's this cool event, we would love to have you involved.
Exactly. And really, if you know of any famous ancestor you're connected to, that's a great way to connect to AJ, because usually we can find the connection between AJ and said famous person.
Right.
And we've already got a ton of connections between gateway ancestors and famous people, so chances are good we might already know how to get you connected.
There you go.
I know that more coming up every day.
That is it. Fantastic. Are there any other questions from those who are not on the call but who are watching, who can text in? If you have any questions, or better yet, thoughts of how we can do this better, or ideas, just let us know as we come into the final stretch. And let me think, is there, I'll turn it over again to Abby and Eowyn and Amanda and Kevin. Is there anything we're missing, anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I have one more little point.
Yes.
Even if you're not helping research, you know, for people who have requested that we find these connections, everything that every person adds to these collaborative worldwide trees helps, because, you know, the more people are added, the closer the connections become. So just, even if you're not doing our Connect for the Cure, just keep adding and adding your own family, and that helps a lot.
Totally. Absolutely.
Of course.
Take like one aunt or uncle maybe that married someone and you never looked into their spouse, and just trace their spouse a little bit. Find out their grandparents or their siblings, and that could open so many doors for us. It only takes one person to connect to the tree. So it's just finding the right person. And it's kind of fun. You know, I don't know how a lot of other people are, but I find it's interesting to look into different family names. You look at your own for so long, and then to finally just look into something different, you know, refresh your researching skills and add just a couple people, and it really does. It helps us. You wouldn't believe how many times we're looking at these and we see, wow, someone added that profile like 2 days ago, and they just hadn't made that connection. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I know, like adding things in the my mother's maternal, or her mother's maternal side, my grandmother's maternal side, the family starts with with the in the late 17th, late 18th century, with early 19th, with four or five siblings, and it's spawned like 500 to 600 people in the current generation.
That's great. Yeah, it is amazing how quickly the descendants accelerate when you go back a few decades.
And in the case of Jewish families, you get intermarriage. Like my mother's maternal grandparents, turns out that indirectly related to each other, even though they're not physically related. They're only related by marriage. Close.
Right.
Great grandfather's mother's sister married a uncle to a cousin of his wife.
Yeah, exactly. There certainly was a lot of intermarriage.
Especially for Jews.
Right. One other request I had is that we want to have, hopefully, we're going to have thousands of people at this reunion. It's a huge space, so it's not going to be crowded. And if you want to have a little privacy, there are going to be nooks and crannies all over. So don't be intimidated by the number. But we do want to have all sorts of family members just wandering around showing their cool skills. So if you have any cousins who are magicians or jugglers or storytellers, then just email us so that we can add them to the list and tell them, bring your juggling balls, and people are going to love it. Because I think the more activities, the more fun, the better this event is going to be.
Heck yeah.
Somebody's got echoing. Yeah, I think it's Abby. Next time wear headphones.
I don't hear it anymore. I heard it a couple of minutes ago. So I think we're good for now. All right. Were there any other questions coming in on the transom? Or I'm not seeing any.
No,
I just done one. It says, will it be potluck?
You are welcome to bring food, meatloaf for 5,000 people, if you want. But it will mostly be these amazing food trucks. I mean, New York has an incredible diversity of food trucks. So we have one of our cousins, a volunteer, is organizing with the food trucks to get 25, 50 of them there, and so you'll be able to choose whatever branch of the family you like, whether it's Jewish food or Korean food, that will be there. And this is the way. The reason that I got the idea to do it at this place, New York Hall of Science, is because something called the Maker Fair has their event there. And it's basically like a show and tell, for a science show, but the biggest ever. So it's got a lot of 3D printers and drones and things like that. But they do the same way. They get 75,000 people over 2 days, and they do it with food trucks, and it works out great because these food trucks are delicious, and the lines are not really long. So that's the plan. If you want to bring your casserole for 5,000, please do. And that is one other. Eowyn can talk briefly about this before we go. The food, there is a food initiative part of the Global Family Reunion that we're quite excited about. I'll let Eowyn take it away.
Oh, yes. I had to open it, but yes, we're going to have a global family reunion that's going to be a compilation of some awesome recipes and some stories about family and food and Alzheimer's, and it's going to be really awesome. The recipes are going to be great, and it'll be up for sale, and all the money will go towards Alzheimer's.
And so definitely send us any family recipes you have.
Yep, send them to that email.
Oh, good. Yeah, and there's Food 52 is a website, a very cool food website, and they have teamed up with us and are going to hold a Global Family Reunion contest I believe February.
February.
Submit their recipes, and then they'll sort of have a cook-off.
Yeah, that's food52.com. And if you go and visit their site.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I love about this project is that it is any topic you can think of in the world. It relates to family and the global family. I mean, you cannot think of a topic that does not relate. So yeah, we've got a food section, we've got history, science, comedy.
Will there be calculus, AJ?
I am not a fan. If the cousins want calculus, we'll give them calculus. All right, well, I think that's all we have for you. But I really appreciate everyone coming and just the amazing enthusiasm you guys have brought to this project. So I am deeply grateful.
Well, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry, do you have something, Kevin?
No, I'm nothing to say.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. This video will be available later on YouTube and the Geni blog. So, yeah. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.